Welcome on in and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Everybody in the US, at least. If you're not celebrating Thanksgiving today, well, I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. It's a Thursday. I should know this. I've only been doing it for 29 years. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I got back home earlier than expected from a little family celebration and stuffing myself with my body weight and turkey, gravy, stuffing, and mashed potatoes. So I'm feeling really good right now. And we're going to go in and do two videos tonight, two that I have really wanted to take a little chance at. And we're going to do a new Uma that we scouted. I made a little post about her the other day. We finally got Meisho Doto. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this is our new Uma. We got her off banner, which is surprising. I was actually kind of hoping to get one of the Halloween, either Rush Hour or Super Creek, but we ended up getting Meisho, and that is perfectly fine by me. She's a turf runner. She doesn't have super long races, but she does have a long aptitude A and a medium aptitude A. She also has a pace A. So first time we're going to be doing a standard A rank guide where we're just going to be completing her career with an A rank, and we're also going to be training her for medium length PvP. I'm not going to be using her as a long distance just because training for medium's a little bit easier, and frankly in the team trials right now it's very difficult to train really good long distance runners. So we're going to be saving those ones for last. Hopefully we'll get some good support cards between then and now. So we are going to hold off and we'll do those at the end of this series. We got a 20% increase to her stamina and a 10% increase to her guts. This is going to be pretty useful as a pace chaser. We are going to be competing a lot for those top spots towards the end of the race, a little bit more so than a front runner or a end closer if we build it right, as we will be able to catch up and do some contesting. So guts will be sort of necessary. You need at least a 350, 400 in guts just so we can potentially get the win when doing the duels at the end of the races after this most recent update. We're also going to be aiming for around 400 in our wit, which we're not going to be using many wit cards. We're just going to be using the one die with Scarlet specifically to get our wit trained up, but most of our training is going to go into speed since we do not have a speed increase here. For our legacy cards, I'm going to be choosing a mix between speed and power bonuses here. I have a 42-21 split with my El Condor Pasa, and I have a 21-33 split with my Ogre Cap. My El Condor Pasa has mainly mild sparks, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's also the best sparks I have for the stat increase, which I'm going to be prioritizing. Since we are going to be racing her as a medium, that's going to be our top priority right now. And we don't necessarily have the sparks required with our own Umas to get that medium up to an S. So we're kind of just going to put that on the back burner for now. If you can increase these stats in a similar fashion while also getting pink sparks that are medium, then that would be fantastic for you. Or if you have the support cards to pull it off and get a really good stamina, 900 plus, and you have those medium sparks or the long sparks, you might want to do that, and you could potentially train a really good long distance runner. Meisho skills. We're going to really go through that throughout the career path. So for now, let's go ahead and pick our support cards. Our support cards are naturally going to be a borrow of a Kitasan Black. We're going to be using our Super Creek, and we're also going to be using, that is right, we're going to be using a 4th speed card. 1 stamina, 1 wit, 4th speed card. No speed increase means it's going to be really hard to max out speed, especially with the cards that we have. So again, I don't really have support cards that kind of help out her pace chaser and long medium distance style that I would like to. These aren't bad support cards. They do have some skills that I would use regardless, such as Calm in a Crowd, Lone Wolf. With King Halo, we might use Corner Recovery or get the discount with our Swinging Maestro, since we are also going to be getting Corner Recovery through Kitasan Black. She's got extra tank, all the skills you know that Kitasan Black is going to have anyway. And our Eye Sheen Flash is going to be pulling off some late Surger skills, so really not relevant to what we're aiming for here, but that's okay because you make do with what you got. And if you have any questions about why I am doing this on the standard race and not the Unity Cup, it is mainly because I have done a lot of Unity Cup racing. I've actually gotten some pretty good builds with it. However, it would seem through some conversations I've had and some comments that I've seen that some people are still struggling getting a good grasp on the Unity Cup as a whole and pulling off consistent good careers with them. So we're going to be doing the tried and true standard URA finals career path here, and we're going to be releasing a more in-depth guide to the Unity Cup. I don't really like playing this as a super technical game. I'm really mainly in it for the fun of it and the love of the game. So, you know, we'll break it down, but if you don't really care, you can give it a shot in either game mode with the same build. That should work out for you regardless. So let's go ahead and get this started. We do have the event boost, so let's give it a go. There is a wit card out right now for the event where everybody should be able to get a maxed out wit card. I forgot who it was, but we'll take a look at that after the career. I highly recommend everybody keeps doing the bingo cards to make sure they are getting those, especially if you do not have very good wit cards at this moment. This could be a great time to get one added to your deck. And we are going to be focusing on speed, power, and stamina while also trying to get our support cards up. So if we can do our support card maxing in these first 3 skills, we will be very happy. We can always pour into wit during our beach training when we do not have a rainbow training to max our stats on. And that will also return us some of our energy in case we do get a very solid training during that beach training as well. So we got lucky. I did actually swap over to a Die with Scarlet right before we started. I didn't mean to have, what's her name? Meisho. What's her face? Meisho. Starts with a D, right? Oh my god, I can't. I'm forgetting my Umas, guys. I'm forgetting my Umas. It's all this Thanksgiving food. It's got my mind going crazy. Lots of Thanksgiving food, lots of Thanksgiving beer. We're feeling real good tonight. So far so good. We're getting those friendship levels up pretty evenly across the board, so we are very happy with that. Speed level 2 already. We'll do plus 10 here. I don't want to risk slow metabolism before our junior debut. That would be a major L. So yeah, if we can avoid those debuffs, because she gets a debuff at the beginning of this career regardless. It's the not ready debuff, which doesn't get rid of itself until a little bit later towards the end of the career. So we're not going to focus on that for now. We're going to choose our best dialogue options here to get some energy, speed, stamina, or power bonuses. There's another 3 stack on speed. Plus 10 speed, and we got a double stack on stamina with Super Creek. Narita Taishin is probably going to be our most difficult Uma to rank up in this career. She is kind of just our overall most difficult support card to get ranked up due to her low initial friendship gauge and training bonuses. So it's really good to keep in mind which ones are your most difficult Umas to train in order to get their friendship bonuses up. That way we can make sure that we are putting a little extra effort into them and making sure they get up to the rainbow training around the same time as our other support cards. Excellent. We got practice perfect. Won't be complaining about that. We got a double stack on stamina, and we're going to take a good rest after this. Remember, we can do most of our wit training during the beach training, so we're actually going to be doing a little bit more resting during this career than we would do on some of our others. Speed cards are looking good, and our Super Creek is actually getting up there rather early as well. The first race we're going to do, we're going to schedule it right now so we don't forget, is going to be the Hopeful Stakes, which is 8 turns in the future. This, if we win, will give us more than enough fans for our 4,700 goal here. This will be a good time to do a wit since we got the best stack on wit. We've been getting good stacks off of wit and on our stamina and speed. So again, it looks like that's going to go into wit. Again, we're only training wit when it's the really only alternative option we have. It's not worth it to train speed when we only have a single support card on it at this time. But it is worth it to train power if it's to get Super Creek up there, because she does have some difficult URA finale races where if we don't have enough stamina, it's going to be rather difficult to actually fully complete them. And we are kind of banking on getting the Swinging Maestro from Super Creek. If you do not have Super Creek, you can use other support cards for other skills, such as Gourmand. Quarter Recovery and Shredder Recovery are also a very good pairing and extra tank to get you through those races. This will be a wit training. And we'll work on speed. Want to max speed if possible. Nothing phenomenal here, and our chances are 25%. Again, we don't want to get hit with a debuff this early in this Uma's career, so if we can avoid that at all costs, we'll be a very happy camper. That's going to put Super Creek up into Rainbow Training as well as Aishin Flash. And now Aishin Flash is going to do Rainbow Training, and we can knock it out of the park with a Kitas and Black Rainbow Training as well. That is three speed cards now. Excellent. +5 to power. There's our hopeful stakes. And let's give it a go. If we get lucky, we'll nail first place here. It is possible not to, but we got lucky there. I kind of swap between getting first and second place. Depending on your support cards, you might be down just a little bit on the fans if you get second place and have to do one more race. But if you get lucky, pull off the win, or if you have had some pretty good training up until then, you really shouldn't struggle all that much. And now we can get King Halo. Looking good on the speed front so far. Remember, we do not have a power or speed bonus to our stats, so it's very important to make sure we are also training power individually. But that's going to get our Narita Taishin up as well, so we're going to do that. It's time for a rest, though, absolutely. 38. You love to see it early before our second goal. We'll do a wit training here. No rainbow training. We can do a wit training as long as we have over 1/3 of our energy. That is kind of my saying that I go by. So if we can keep it up, excellent. And there's our Professor of Curvature, which, if you know, is one of my favorite skills. And now Narita Taishin is so close. As I told you, she's our slowest card to usually get up there, but she's not so far behind the others that I'm all that worried about it. By mid-game, we'll be able to potentially, not guaranteed, but potentially get a quadruple speed stack, which is actually just a beautiful thing to behold. There's a 32 for stamina. We're happy with that. 6,000 fans, 13 turns for 15,000 fans. We're going to take a rest here, and I've got a very good very good race that I like to do specifically for those extra 1,300 fans. We're going to be choosing the Sapporo Turf, 2,000 meters, 7,000 fans. We should be solid on the stats by then, so if we pull off that W, we will be set with fans for the rest of this career path. Now, yes, it is possible to just do OP race. We'd be more than easily able to get the stats, the fans that we need to with an OP race at just 1,300 fans, but we don't want to be lacking. We don't want to fall behind for any of the other potential future stats in need, so let's do the double stack with Narita Taishin, who is now able to do rainbow training. And we're early June, so 2 more turns until our glorious beach training. And I believe, is the race next, or we got a couple more turns for it? I throw up my agenda here. Yeah, we got a couple more turns before the Sapporo there. No rainbow training, and all of our support cards are solid, so let's actually do a stamina. We can max out Taishin, get the most if we get her on rainbow training during beach training. Remember, no rainbow, do a wit. 44 double stack, love to see it. 43, this is why we love Super Creek, and this is why we love support cards that give stat bonuses. A 43 on a single stamina rainbow training is actually just a beautiful sight. And there's our race. We should be more than equipped for the Sapporo turf. So let's go ahead and do this race. Even if we don't get first place, we should be able to hit our goal. But that is a first place, and we got 11,946 fans, pretty much setting us up for a solid win going forward. We did get the minus 16 there, so we are going to really need to rest. If we get lucky, we'll get a good 50. Would have even preferred a 70, but we'll take what we can get. And this is a good time for a wit. Since we were about half energy, I went for the wit there. I would have... Ooh, oh my god. We did it. We did it. It's not on speed 5, so this could be higher, and Aishi's not max, but a 0% quad stack. I'm sorry you had to hear those sounds come from me, but oh my god. All right, so we're going to go... Yeah, I want the 30 skill points. Skill points are phenomenal. They'll also help with our end career. So let's go with another 0 on a 32. We got our goal achieved. So up next, we're probably going to be taking a rest. Remember, we still have our not ready, and it's going to be cured right now. 4 turns before the Nikkei. It's a good time for a rest. We got our 70. Those are even pretty much just as good to get as a really good stack. I love getting those 70s. So we're looking pretty good on our speed. We got our Swinging Maestro right there. So we can now purchase Swinging Maestro and Professor of Curvature. We don't have anything phenomenal. I'm actually going to be putting this into power. Remember, no power point increase means that we'll be falling behind as we train our speed. It won't naturally go up to an A just by maxing speed like a lot of our other trainees will be able to pull off. Double speed stack. And here comes the Nikkei show. And we're headed into our senior year with some really, really good looking stats. We'll have our event here. We can chillax, get our plus 30 energy, do our race, and then have the raffle right after, where it is possible to not get very good. You know, you could get tissues, but you're more than likely to get some energy back. So I usually play the career with the assumption that we're going to be getting some energy back. Yes, you will occasionally get tissues, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So, you know, it's less than likely. It's best to just be optimistic. Oh my god. Boys. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm actually going nutty over here. That is insane. I don't think I've ever gotten 2 quad stacks in a career. I had to take a drink. This is amazing. 2 quad stacks in 1 career. All right, Kinko Show coming up. Kinko Show is just a 2,000 meter G2 with our stats, especially the ones we got a little lucky with here. Shouldn't really struggle all that much. 2.5 over Measure Orion. Who can suck it? Kiko Show looking solid. 6 turns before the Takarazuka Keenan. That's a good amount of turns there. We still want to confirm that we are going to max speed. We don't want to neglect it. But at the same time, we can give a little more leeway. If we can do some good stamina training and some power trainings mixed in there, I am happy with that as well. Stamina level 3, inspiration, because we're going to get, remember, we're going to get about 50 points in speed just from the end game. And we're going to get our inspiration here, which is going to be another 45 in speed and 60 in power. So unless we screw up big time, which we have in the past, we are essentially guaranteed max speed. We just got to make sure we're not forgetting to train it. Oh! This is unreal. Have you guys ever seen luck like this? 3 quad stacks. 3! That is insanity! That is a drink! We gotta put it into power. Gotta make sure our power is up to A. And stamina a B if we can. Yep, stamina. Stamina actually takes up less energy for training too. So it's a good alternative if you've essentially maxed your speed already. We will, I believe, have to do one more speed training to guarantee a max, but we will save that for our last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns. That's 7 turns. We will have to take a rest, but we do have late game beach training, which is right now. So let's take a rest and recover. Make sure we're getting the best out of our trainings here. Go into power. That can go into wit. Remember, wit trains speed just a little bit. And if you're like us and you really just need a little bit, it's perfect to do during beach training, like I said at the beginning, because not only does it get your wit to where you want it, which is around 400 by endgame, but you're also going to be stacking up those speed points that are necessary to max out speed. You know, not everyone's going to get those 3 quad stacks that we were blessed with. That was actually insanity. I honestly cannot believe that happened. We're going to do a rest here. I'm just making sure we didn't get another quad stack and I missed it, you know? Gotta make sure that you're not wasting those opportunities, because a quad stack would actually give better power training than a power training with support cards stacked on it. And now we have 1 turn before the Japanese Cup. We got 1 race, 1 race. Excellent. We're looking solid here. So what we're actually going to do is pretty much... Ooh, this is a hard one. We're going to do more stamina training if we can. But with a rest, we're only going to realistically have 3 more turns. Because it's turn, race, straight into the URA finale. So we're going to rest here. Hopefully we'll get a max. Oh, only a 30, and we got Night Owl. What an absolute abomination of a time for that to happen. Good God. But we should have enough in us for potentially 3 solid stamina if we get them, and maybe 2 stamina, 1 wit, depending on how the cards stack. And remember, she can have a little bit of a difficult time during the URA final here. So what we're going to do before we do any training is we're actually going to make sure we buy Professor Curvature and Swinging Maestro, which would pretty much all but guarantee us victory during those. Okay, so just a single stack. That is fine. We're going to throw 15 into stamina. Do a race here, and remember, we're going to get about 36 points. I need to actually sit down and do the math, because I'm confused about this during every guide we do. Every single guide. Plus 12 there. 12, 24, 36. Yep. Maths. So that's going to get up to 400 by itself. Let's actually do a wit, because regardless, we didn't have a single support card on stamina. So if we do get a support card on stamina, we'll get better training than we did now. We're not going to get worse training than we did with it now. We got our wit guaranteed over 400. But if we do get a rainbow training, it can get pretty damn close to 750, which I'd be happy with. Very, very happy with. And again, it's not going to get worse. Couldn't get worse. And here comes the finals. See, it says we have bad stamina, but that is not bad stamina. For a 2,000 meter, 700 stamina is absolutely fine. Let's get all of our points here. Now, here is the trick. Once we get all of our stuff added up. So overall, stats looking good. 12 max speed, 730 stamina. I would have liked to have 750, but we just didn't get that last rainbow training for stamina that we would have liked. Power solid, wit solid, Guts is a little low, but also at the same time, it's not super important. It can be beneficial, but it's not guaranteed. I would still be more than happy racing her as a medium racer in PvP. The trick is, if you have under an 800 but above a 700, you want to make sure that you have at least 2 gold recovery skills. So we're going to get Breath of Fresh Air as well as Swinging Maestro. The rest can go into our medium and pace chasing here. So we're going to get our 10% tactical tweak, medium corners, that's not discounted, but it's fine. Steadfast, that's a good one. And then we'll make sure that we buy firm conditions. I know it's going to leave us with 43, which is like a sin, but that's just because that's heavily discounted. It would be a lot lower if we didn't have 40% off of that. So that's fine by me. We'll take it and grab our A. And I believe we only have two more Umas to train, which are going to be long distance Umas before we have officially built our PvP team trials team, and we'll be making a video on that. But yeah, anyways, the kind of meta right now is that most PvP characters are going to be A rank with the stats that are required for the racing anyway. So I would have liked to get a little bit higher stamina in this, but that's the way the cookie crumbled. And frankly, it was kind of hard to divert those speed points. You know, we hit max speed way earlier than we needed to, which means more training could have gone into stamina, but there's really no way we could have guessed we would have gotten 3 quad stacks during this career, which is absolutely insane. So, you know, if we had diverted 2 more turns into stamina, that would have been probably around 800, which would have been more than good for us. So depending on your legacy cards, obviously you need over 800, 900 in order to even really think about competing in long distance and stamina. So I would be more than happy throwing her into medium, which we are going to be doing along with, I believe it's our Team Opera O and our Narita Brian that we've done. And if you get lucky, or if you have the sparks, which we actually did with these legacy characters, but we didn't get the mile increases during the inspiration, but we had the ability to get that mile up to an A. If we got that mile up to an A, this could have been a really good mile runner as well, but she's built more for medium anyway. So if you can get that mile or that turf up to an S with your sparks, go ahead and give it a shot. But anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for all future content. Happy Thanksgiving, and if you're celebrating, and if not, I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday, and I'll be releasing more content tomorrow. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.